introduce herself. Mariela?
Good afternoon. Thank you for your patience. My name is Mariela Cadena. I'm the International Exchange Specialist, and we are very happy to have you here with us today. We want to make this session very interactive. So if you wouldn't mind to introduce yourself, which college you teach at, and I see we have a special guest, Dr. Walker, or our awardee from the International Education Week 2021 and early adopter of Coil. We are very happy to have you here today. So if you guys want to start introducing yourself, in which college do you teach, what do you teach, and why are you interested in this session?
My name's Rocky Conrad. I teach at San Antonio College in the Computer Information Systems Department, and global learning sounds very important. That's why I'm here.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ben Gracie, and I teach also at San Antonio College. I'm in humanities this semester. I'm teaching for the first time world cultures, HUMA 2323. And hey, if you're doing a world cultures class, you got to get students involved abroad. So that's why I'm here.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Aurelia Rocha. I'm the faculty fellow for San Antonio College. I'm also adjunct faculty at SAC. I teach music, I teach cello, and I teach viola, and I'll be conducting the chamber ensemble in the spring. And yeah, artist collaboration. So that's what I'm interested in.
Beautiful. Pleasure to meet you. So we got a couple in the chat. Lillian Valdez at SPC. She's an adjunct. She's listening. Glad to have you with us. She's in health information technologies. And Scott and Elizabeth, I don't know if you wanted to introduce yourselves.
I'm happy to say hello. I'm Elizabeth Plummer, and I am a faculty development specialist at Alamo College's district. And I'm here just to listen and make sure that I know who attends so that I can get you guys all in Alamo talent and get credit for attending this session.
So I'm Scott Walker, and I am doing a Coil course right now with a professor she actually teaches business sustainability, as in business environmental sustainability, at Lviv Polytechnic University in Ukraine. And I came just to support my colleagues, Latanya and Mariela, and the rest of the international crew I see here, and answer any questions faculty might have about how it really goes. And I think we have another session Thursday or something too. I just came to hang out because I'm working from home and I'm all online, so I can do this. I don't have to be anywhere else.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. Well, let's get started.
Okay, so now that we all know each other, let's watch a short clip that you might already watch it about what Coil is. I know some of you attended our EduTech session, and we appreciate you having you back here. Where's Mike?
Gaining an international education experience in today's world has changed, and the Alamo Colleges District has changed with the times by offering virtual exchanges through Alamo Coil. Alamo Coil is a virtual exchange program where students and faculty from different countries meet online for classes and course discussion to develop critical thinking and cultural awareness.
The Office of International Programs, along with faculty and staff from all colleges, supports the decision to embark in this virtual exchange venture and picking Coil as the preferred methodology. We believe that Coil, once implemented, will give faculty and students access to global competencies from the comfort of their home or classroom, meeting our students where they are.
Virtual exchanges allow for global learning experiences in a safe environment while engaging in conversation with your peers, as well as students in foreign countries.
Faculty will be able to select their international partners from their own contacts abroad or from current Alamo Colleges partners, or from a network of over 200 international institutions already doing COIL.
For faculty, virtual exchange broadens your collaborative network and provides an opportunity to internationalize coursework and directly contribute to the development of global competencies of students.
This methodology will add an extra layer of internationalization to the classroom in an organic and sustainable way.
Getting an international education without leaving home is possible, and Alamo Coil makes it happen.
That's Alamo Coil in a 1 minute and 50-second clip. But welcome to our Alamo Coil Village, and I am very glad Dr. Walker is here, because I think having him here and sharing his testimony on why he got attracted to doing virtual exchanges and how he's one of our early adapters. He, as we mentioned, he has worked with our office in many different areas, and for him to believe in this virtual exchange idea, and I know he's had done it in the past, but to actually do COIL, do the methodology, go through the training. Now that we have him here, I know it wasn't on the script, it wasn't planned, but now that we have you here, I really wanted you to talk to your fellow faculty members, and why did you join the village?
Well, thanks for putting me on the spot, Mariela. But why did I do this? I think international education is just important, whether it's study abroad or COIL. The students need to be exposed to the rest of the world, and even if it's in an online format of some form, through videos or that sort of thing, it gives students a broader view of the world. And in an online setting, like many of us are still living, I'm teaching 100% online still right now. It's relatively easy to do. I mean, there's work involved in it, but we can get our students involved with students in other schools really simple, without having to do a lot of, well, for one, without travel, although we'd like to be traveling. They can interact with students from other places and learn from them. My students right now are working with, it's an environmental science class, and about 40% of my students are business majors from around the district. And my counterpart at Lviv Polytechnic in Ukraine teaches graduate business, and the course she's teaching is business environmental sustainability. There's a whole world of that out there, and our students are interacting with graduate students. There's like that level, and then there's also the level going this way where they're interacting with students from another country. And some of it's really simple, like our icebreaker we started with was, what's your favorite music? Post a video from YouTube. And I learned that there are students in Ukraine, graduate students, who listen to the Scorpions. And I'm like, hey, I had that on 8-track, So it's just interesting. It's interesting for me. It's interesting for our students, I think.
Thank you, Dr. Walker. And I have a question for you in the chat. And we'll talk a little bit more about what did you have to do in the trainings in this presentation. But something that they're asking, what were the hard parts and how did it all come together? If there were any hard parts, if you can talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, Ben, it's not all hunky-dory. The hard part is, so Ukraine is 7 or 8 hours different than us right now. So they're in bed. It takes a long time to get things set up. And I wanted to Zoom with the instructor there so we could talk and meet each other. So that's her working at, like 10 o'clock at night and me working at 7 in the morning. But I think that's kind of fun at the same time, just talking to people on the other side of the world. But also getting together what we are trying to accomplish, especially in terms of teaching style. So this instructor doesn't teach online. She's really fresh and green to university teaching, and their educational system is really hierarchical compared to ours, where I can pretty much do whatever I want. She like has to get permission from upper people. She calls them officials, which kind of, strikes me as, almost Soviet-like or something. Where I'm like, hey, let's just do this. And she's like, well, I got to be sure that I am allowed to do that. And then there are some differences in our perspective of what students should be doing, like the level of work they should be doing. And she wanted to be sure they had lots of time to think and, I guess, ponder. And I'm like, we got a 16-week semester, we got to get moving. We have lots of stuff to do. Maybe it's a difference between grad school and not. I mean, I teach grad school on the side, and it's not as leisurely as that, but maybe it is in Ukraine. I don't know. So those are just some of the things. The other difficulty is actually getting students to participate on our end without making the coursework, the Coil work, mandatory. So I'm going to have to rethink that for next time. The last time I taught online interactive, it was when I used to teach at Our Lady of the Lake University like 100 years ago. And I was working with a professor at a university in Canada. And we were both doing the same type of course, and we both had graduate students. So graduate students don't need as much, external motivation, I think. So it was a little bit different. This group of students I have, it's like pulling teeth to get them to do anything. And it's something I'm definitely gonna have to rethink for the next time.
Awesome, thanks.
Thank you for your insights and for your feedback. And as you were mentioning, it's not all rainbows and butterflies, and that's why we have a village to support you. And what does Coil involve, right? And Scott explained it really well. And something that we really want to to explain is that ecosystem of community that we have built throughout almost 2 years. Where well, Tanya, I don't know if you want to mention a little bit more about the ecosystem of community, and to mention a little bit more about we'll mention a little bit more about the extra resources that we have to support those Coil collaborations.
Absolutely. So what initially happened is, as Scott was sharing, is that we all know the student mobility came to a halt. And we wanted to figure out a way that would keep our students engaged and interested in international activities, as well as our faculty. Our faculty are key to many of the international activities that we have going on. And our faculty had communicated to us that they were interested in virtual exchange. And so we began scouring the opportunities for what would be best and most organic for us, and that was collaborative online international learning, which is Coil. So in that, figuring out that this was the methodology that we wanted, we knew that there needed to be an ecosystem, and we knew that we wanted it not to be an isolated kind of system. And so we wanted to call that a community. So while it does begin in our office with our executive director giving us the directive of finding a way to engage our faculty and our students, at the foundation on the right there, you see International Executive Advisory Committee, as well as the Coil founding faculty, and they are the foundation for this process and for this community. And at the same time of building that relationship with our faculty, with administrators, with individuals that would make decisions within the colleges, we wanted support, again, for our faculty and for our students. And so that meant we needed to look at the various offices that our faculty would need to engage, as well as the offices that would touch our students. So you see the various vice chancellors and their roles that play in this ecosystem in terms of providing support at the district support operations level, but also in there are senior leadership teams, which include our college presidents who are involved in this process, who receives letters from our office, who support Coil at their colleges and are engaging their vice presidents, their academic vice presidents, to provide support to our deans, to our chairs, and then ultimately to our faculty. And then in terms of offices that impact our students and the diverse population of students that we serve, we always want to keep in mind our disability services, our advisors, each of those individual offices that will help students understand the importance of international education, how it applies not just now, but in the future. And again, can provide the support on the back end when students have any issues that they need to work through. So that is what our ecosystem consists of.
We also have her here. See, I'm putting a lot of people on the spot, but we've been working with faculty development with Dr. Plummer to do a Coil community of practice, and that will, allow for, I don't know, Elizabeth, if you want to talk a little bit more about that, and I know you're here to make sure that their participation counts in faculty development. That's one of the incentives. But if you want to talk a little bit more about the Alamo Coil community of practice and how they can use that as a resource for coiling.
I think one of the most powerful things about the community, which will be on Alamo Talent, is that you'll be able to connect with individuals who have participated in Coil. So it will have the resources and things, but you'll be able to actually talk to and ask questions and say, I'm having this issue. And then you'll be able to get that kind of feedback, both from Marietta and Latanya, as well as from other faculty who might have ideas to help you to navigate through getting started, getting set up, those kinds of things.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Okay, Latanya, we're gonna do an activity here if you wanna take over.
Absolutely. So as we're looking at faculty being engaged, and to Dr. Walker's point and Professor Gracie's question, when we're thinking about how to put it together and what it looks like in terms of professors and classrooms and working with the international partner, one of the components that we took from the International Virtual Exchange Conference this year, which is IVEC, is kind of a process that you might want to use when you are considering how to structure your class. Again, we're thinking about professors who have had an opportunity to get to know one another, but we are looking at students who are just coming together and don't quite know one another just yet. So we always think about the icebreaker and how to introduce the students to one another, as well as to the two courses. In that process, we're thinking about how the students are learning together, but also how the faculty will be learning together in terms of how to continue the course, to make it sustainable, and what the next Coil opportunity would look like for them as partners. The crux of the Coil experience is to be able to produce a shared product or outcome that is designed by the faculty, but performed and owned by the students, and how to make those things cohesive and come together. And then with all academic learning, we know that there's a period of reflection or debriefing where we can think about what it is, as students, we can think about what it is that we've done and how that applies, not just again to the academics, but how it connects with us personally, professionally.
would be very helpful for faculty getting involved in this for the very first time, to actually have some suggested icebreaker that they could incorporate into their online classes so that they don't have to try to maybe develop something on their own. Just a suggestion.
Absolutely, we can do that. We have a faculty toolkit for our Coil professors, and so that can be one of the things that we put in there. We do have sample syllabi and some other things, but that is fantastic, and we will make sure that we get samples of that. So now, the moment we've all been waiting for but didn't know it. We have an activity that we would like to share with you all that kind of gets to the heart of what a Coil course could possibly look like. So we're going to group you up into groups of, well, we can actually do groups of 3, because I see, well, let's do groups of 2, because we're going to take Mariela and myself out of this. And somebody just moved. We're still going to do groups of 2. We're going to have one group of 3 probably, because we have 11 people. And the chat is open. So let's do this. We want to put Professor Gracie with, let's say, Elizabeth Plummer. So we'll have the Gracie Plummer partnership. And let's put Lillian Valdez with Rocky Conrad, Scott and Blanca. And it looks like that's it. Me, Maria, are you wanting to participate? You and Alejandra?
Fine.
Say again, I didn't hear you.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to put you and Alejandra together.
There's can you see the new person? There's somebody else just joined.
Okay, no, I can't see them.
Let me see, 'cause my computer.
I think
Blanca.
that you heard your partner, Blanca.
Yes, I put
I think
Blanca with Scott.
started.
Yes. So Blanca is with Scott.
Okay.
Lillian and Rocky are together. Elizabeth and Ben Gracie. And you and Alejandra.
She's not. She
She's not
can't.
participating?
No, no, she's not. I can stay here.
Okay, that's fine.
That's fine.
Okay, we'll do that. All right, so here's what's going to happen, or what is currently happening. We'll have about 15 to 20 minutes. We'll make the exercise as quick as possible. And here is what we are thinking about. There is a zombie-pocalypse, and it is happening right now. You and your partner represent the US and any international location that you choose. You both heard about the zombie-pocalypse on the news, the radio, through a recent broadcast, and know that it is that zombies are infesting your country, wherever you are, and you can select if you're going to be US or international. as far as you two know, you are the only survivors of this atrocity. However, what you want to try to do, because you're hopeful and optimistic, is to be able to reach out to individuals that may be hiding, additional survivors, and educate them about what is going on. So your task is, how would you reach out to individuals in your country, whether you're going to represent the US or you're going to represent an international country? How would you reach out to them? How would you let them know what is going on, and how to seek safety, so that they can continue to survive as you survive? This is purely kind of off the cuff. There's no particular wrong or right answer, but it's just to get us thinking, again, for whoever chooses to represent the US, whoever chooses to represent the international country, to think about the various aspects of being able to communicate what's going on, and to get, absolutely, to get those individuals to safety. So, but you would have to be a good zombie if you're going to be a zombie, because we want to rescue and make sure everybody else stays safe. So starting now, we're going to, it's 2:38 by my clock. If we do, let's say 12 minutes, because we want to leave a little bit of time to kind of talk about the activity, and see what we came up with. So 12 minutes starting now.
Are we supposed to be in breakout rooms, or how are we handling this?
Yes,
Let's see how-
I am putting you on the breakout rooms. Just give me
Oh.
1 second.
Yeah,
Yes.
we don't have an invitation yet. There it is.
I didn't assign Maria.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine. I'm here.
Okay. Stop sharing and send the propaganda.
You broadcasted to all the rooms just now.
Mhm.
So their time will be up at 2:50. So at about 2:45, we can do a broadcast to all rooms that they have 5 minutes left. And then the countdown, I'm not sure if the countdown would be individual or be automatic. I mean, at 1 minute, or if we'll have to do.
Okay, I broadcasted the last question too.
Hmm?
I broadcasted the last question as well.
I asked Alicia to leave earlier so she can join the other session. But I think I'm gonna have to leave. So I'm gonna tell you the host here.
Okay.
Would it work if you
What?
need to if you need to open another room?
We had that problem last year, right?
Yes.
Something on our computer that tends to translate at least writing. I'm not sure if it translates verbal, but it does writing. So that was how we came up with a solution to communicating to others to try to figure out. Of course, we were assuming that the technology infrastructure was still working during this catastrophe.
Mhm. Excellent, thank you. Professor Bessie, I see your hand.
Excellent. Let me lower my hand. Really, Elizabeth Plummer had all of our good ideas, but we're going to go find ham radios because that globally connects, with minimal technological infrastructure in place. To do that, we're going to look for houses with really tall antennas and semi trucks. We're going to try to connect with the CDC network. Elizabeth, remember that if you go to the CDC website, there's a whole page about preparing for the zombie apocalypse. I think a metaphor for preparing for pandemics and things, but nevertheless, they have that up there. One peril is that we might not be able to access manuals and stuff, learn how to do this because there'd be a lot of learning on the fly if all those manuals are on electronics and not on printed paper. So, as far as preparing for the zombie apocalypse now, maybe we should print things out instead of storing them electronically. And finally, we're just going to go around and try to meet up with individuals having different skills. Everybody's got different skills and build a community. So that was our plan about how to survive. I think we survived.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Next slide, Mariela, if you don't mind. So like you mentioned, there were a lot of assumptions, a lot of things that we didn't share. We did kind of just leave it up to you to figure it out. So when you're thinking about designing a Coil course, those are the kind of things that you don't necessarily want to do. You want to think about the course that you are wanting to Coil with and internationalize and what that would look like in terms of expanding that course for your students and for your partner. But you also want to think about which learning objectives, because we all have to think about those that you want to infuse specifically. You want to think about your partner and if they're multidisciplined in this case, if they speak another language. In your Coil courses, they're all in English. But in this instance, your Coil partner, so to speak, your zombie apocalypse partner, may have spoken another language. So you want to take that in consideration and thinking about the region that they're in. Dr. Walker said it best about the time differences and some of the challenges that can pose. And then ultimately, our founding faculty did it differently. Some only did a portion of their class, some did the first portion, some did the second portion. So those are things to think about. So this exercise was about thinking out of the box for your partners again, and how to best get that the information that you felt most important out in the best way for the population that you were creating. So thank you all for being such good sports and participating in our activity. Mariela.
Yes, and now that you mentioned about the partnerships, and we've been getting a bunch of partners that are doing Coil from all around the world. Maybe Professor Rocky Conrad is like, oh, how do I find a partner? And we have built partnerships with the Sunny Coil Global Network. They have around 127 schools around the world doing Coil. The Latin American Coil Network, I think Blanca put in the chat that she's interested in doing a class in Spanish, and we'll reach out to you, Blanca. The Students Initiative, and also the Asociación Mexicana para la Educación Internacional, that is a bilateral collaboration between the US and Mexico on internationalization of the curricula. We have 3 faculty, 3 early adapters working with AMPE in Mexico doing that collaboration. We can help you find that partner. Dr. Walker is working with one of the universities here in Ukraine. If you already have a connection that you want to formalize a Coil course, we can also work with you to do that. So the beauty about Coil is that it is very organic, and it allows for that creativity for you to connect with new partners. We have some faculty from other institutions that they are doing a Coil course with 3 different partners from 3 different countries or 3 different continents. So again, it allows for that that organic creation. And I think we just have 2 more minutes before we end the session. And what are I'll just skip the why virtual exchanges, because I think the exercise explained it very well. What are the faculty incentives? We pay for your Coil training. Dr. Walker went through 2 trainings. He did the foundations, the Coil foundations training through the Sunny Coil Center. They're the ones that created the Coil methodology. The design training is also paid for. We always encourage you and pay for you to go to Coil conferences. We always recommend to do the International Virtual Exchange Conference. That's the one that we believe is the most useful for you. We, as Elizabeth was here, we work with faculty development to make sure that whatever you do in this capacity is counted on your faculty 180 letters of recognition. We're always bragging about our Coil professors or Coil adapters. Every time you just saw it, every time we see our Coil adapters, we just put them in the spot, like I just did with Dr. Walker. We just want to make sure that that the district knows that faculty are going above and beyond to provide students with these global competencies and to meet students where they are. Maybe they don't have the funding to do a study abroad, which is awesome, but we really want to provide these other options for the majority of our students that cannot just go for 2 or 3 weeks to a study abroad program. We're thinking about expanding and do, Dr. Walker had the idea of doing Coil and Go, so we are working on those things. And we really encourage you, if you're interested in doing Coil and joining the village, contact us. We can have a one-on-one. We can really talk to you about it a little bit more. We can answer more of your questions. I know it's already 3 o'clock, but yes, how do you get started? Yes, we can send you an email. We can set up a one-on-one so we know where you're at, what are your thoughts, where do you want to start, and we can go from there. And do you have, I know it's already 3 o'clock, but do you have any questions for us right now? Any questions for Dr. Walker, that he's here again, putting him on the spot? But the best testimonials are from our faculty that believe in the work that we do.
Well, I'm scheduled to do that 3 o'clock webinar, so I guess I'm going to have to leave.
Okay, thank you all for being
Thank you.
with us.
And yes, Latanya.
Nice
go
to
on.
see you, Rocky.
It's good to be here. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you all for joining us. We hope to see you all soon.
Thank you. This is Blanca Trinidad.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you guys hear me? Oh, okay. Sorry, I double scheduled. I couldn't even get my voice on it because it was doubling. But I teach nursing, but I speak Spanish mostly. But I created the CNA program here at St. Philip's College. I've been teaching CNA like for 12 years already. But I would love to participate